Come in.
I just paid $150,000 for an MBA, so I wanted to know if I could interview you before I lose building access. And before you say no, I have coconut water and a promise not to request any recommendation letters until I graduate. Are you in?
Actually, I'm desperate for exposure, so yeah, come on in. So then,
Awesome. I know the perfect place. So before we start the interview, we're going to play this game called Guess the AI Slop. I'm going to show you 2 slides, and you have to tell me if you think AI made it or an MBA student. Okay.
good. This sounds like one of those not fun games where everyone loses. It's a lot of fun. Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll see. So this is round 1. Okay, slide 1. Apple's equity structure. Ooh. Same thing.
You go back and forth a couple times?
Tough, you know.
That is tough. Those are very similar. I'm going to go with the first one being human-made because I'm not sure a computer would pick that color of pink.
Wow, you're really good. That's a good observation. Yeah, I was going to say I made this for a strategy class and I just copied it over. And I left the colors to kind of throw you off because maybe someone could have prompted it to be, I don't know, more quirky or something. So it's interesting that you kind of caught that really quickly.
So you started with the AI version and then prettied it up for the presentation?
Exactly.
Okay.
Great. Round 2. Ooh, different revenue segments. I think this one's kind of easy.
Well, this one, slide 2 is more organized and kind of laid out clearer. So I'll say that one's AI.
Yeah. Dang it. Okay, I was being kind with this one, but the round 3 will definitely get you.
Okay.
Okay.
These are all made by a human after they see the AI version of these?
I can't tell you my
Okay.
strategy just yet because it'll inform you.
All right, go back and forth a couple more times. This one is human-made.
Dang it, you're really good. How could you tell?
I don't know, but let this be a warning to all of my future students. I will catch you out. I have whatever the AI version of gaydar is. I can tell. I can just sense it.
See, there we go. Yeah, and this is why we're doing these interviews. It's mutually beneficial for these students to get a warning that professors can tell.
Warning. I know. No, I don't know. I think that this one, unfortunately, I think AI just maybe has better use of space. Like there's kind of more white space on that one.
Yeah,
in your layout.
and to your point, different AI tools have a better way of going about making slides. So the first 2 were Claude, which honestly I would trust Claude to make slides kind of over me at this point. But this was chat and I had to kind of fix it a little bit. So, you know, I think if as a student you want to use AI, use it smartly.
Good advice.
Well, with that in mind, we can go ahead and move on to the interviews.
Great.
No more games. We're here for serious and deep conversations.
Got it.
Starting with, what is your name, your background, and what brought you to Emory?
My name is Ryan Hamilton. My background is kind of a mess. It wasn't a straight line to marketing. My undergraduate is in physics, then I worked a bunch of odd jobs. Eventually figured out that the problems related to how people make decisions are the most interesting thing to me. So I've got a PhD in marketing, and I've been here ever since I graduated. And I'm at Emory mostly because I married a Southerner, and she crossed off large parts of the map as being unlivably cold. So she tolerated Chicago with me for several years, but then insisted we move to the South. So that's why I'm here.
That's awesome. And has she gotten you to start saying the word y'all yet? Like, has that slipped out yet?
I've always been kind of constitutionally opposed to y'all because I can't pull it off. Like it. People who do it genuinely, it's a lovely word, but I feel like such a carpetbagger when I'm appropriating Southern culture when I try it, so I don't.
Oh, well, I just let you know on behalf of the South, you're allowed to say.
Thank you.
You've been here long enough.
Very welcoming.
Well, with that in mind, given you work at the business school and we just saw how advanced AI has gotten with making presentations, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on what is the value that business programs can provide now that we do have such rich AI tools that can do a lot of the work that a MBA analyst should be doing?
Yeah, AI is tricky because it can be a powerful tool. It is also extraordinarily easy to use to escape doing the work. So my hope is that business school educations, that all education will adjust to a realm where this is a tool that improves what we can do, that improves our outcome and our outputs, rather than offloading work onto AI so that we don't have to do any. That's a very short-term gain for a long-term path towards not being able to provide any value to any company or any set of customers if AI can do it just as well or better than we can.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I know even just me being a student here and working with different group projects, it's one of those things that's very easy to get AI to do it, but someone has to read it eventually. And so I think you bring up a good point that you use it, but use it responsibly. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times I've read something, I'm like, what were you trying to say? And the person's like, I don't have any idea.
Because I didn't bother to read the AI thing that I made for you to read. Yeah, no, AI can be the best tutor in the world because it is infinitely patient. And so if you don't understand some concept, you can just keep asking it to explain it to you. You can improve your mind and your skills using AI. You can also avoid work entirely, but there's great personal, professional risk at that.
Yeah, and I guess with that in mind, so I've had different professors have different approaches to AI. Like, I had this one marketing class where our professor would have us do the work, but then get us to do the same work with ChatGPT to compare the output. And so that kind of inspired the AI Slop game, where I literally did have to do it for an assignment. So I'm curious.
That's interesting.
Yeah, how has your teaching style or just strategy changed with AI?
It's hard. I host an online support group of professors from various various business schools around the country. And it's called the AI Apocalypse Teaching Help Group. And so we meet together and talk about this, like, how are we going to still make sure that our students learn something valuable with all of these powerful tools in mind. In terms of the strategies that I've approached, so with full respect to how powerful AI and what it does, I tend to teach fundamental marketing courses, so the core or marketing strategy class. And from that perspective, I'm kind of the opinion that AI doesn't matter for those. Like, AI is a powerful tool, it'll change all kinds of things, but ultimately, if you want to be successful in business, you still need to know who your customers are and what they want. And AI can be a tool in helping you get there, but if you don't approach a business problem from that perspective, you're throwing darts in the dark. You don't know what you're doing. And so these tools keep coming, and AI is maybe in a different class because it is so powerful, but I'm old enough to remember when, like, oh, everything's different now because of e-commerce. We can throw out all the old rules, or everything's different now because of blockchain. And so we can throw out all the old rules. Like, this just keeps happening. Like, big data, we don't need to worry about all this stuff that we worried about before. And AI is different because it's more powerful, but the fundamentals are still the same. You still need to understand people and what they want so you can solve problems for them. That's how a business will be successful. If AI can facilitate that, that's great, but you still need to learn the fundamentals.
That's true. And one of the most important discussions I've heard that have really stood out to me about this, I forget which tech CEOs I heard talking about this. I think it's one of the ex-Google CEOs. He was just talking about how important it is to recognize that as humans, the one thing we definitely still can do is set the objective function. And how do you do that? By understanding your customers, understanding what problems you want to solve, or just even recognizing, like, how do you want to spend your day and how can you accelerate your efficiency in your day by using this tool, and recognizing at the end of the day, it's still a tool. It's not going to replace you because it can't raise its hand in class, in the boardroom, but if you don't know how to use it correctly, like, it's useless, right? Well, with that in mind, I do want to take a moment and just talk about the fact that you wrote a whole book.
I did.
So I'm just curious, like, how do you go about thinking of new ideas and researching different topics and just continue to push the boundaries of marketing knowledge as a whole?
Yeah, I have a single hammer, right, that I take to every problem. So it's the same thing that we just talked about. So when writing a book, my audience is marketing practitioners, people who are out there trying to solve real problems. And so to write a successful book, one that you think matters, you need to start with the problem. Like, what is the need that is out there that can be solved. And not every book writer takes that approach. A lot of times it's like, well, here's something I'm passionate about, so let me write about that. And that's great if you happen to be passionate about something that other people care about.
Yeah.
But if not, you're going to write something that isn't going to matter to anybody else. So just like when you're developing a product or building a company, starting with the idea of like, who's my customer and what do they want? Like, how can I do that? And so when we wrote that book, that's what we did. We identified kind of a gap in marketing strategy. So there was just, the book is about managing relationships between multiple customer segments. If you're going to serve multiple segments, that's hard. You need to worry about how well they get along. That was just something that hadn't been talked about, but when we talked to companies, it was a very, very common problem. It was causing lots of issues for them. In research, you have a different audience, you have a different set of kind of customers of that research, and it's other academics, and so you need to talk about what are the problems that they're interested in solving. And unfortunately, those are often very different sets of problems. There's reasons that executives are not seeking out our academic journals for insights, because it's different audiences. Yeah. So the one hammer I have is, whatever your question is, Jasmine, will save a lot of time. The answer is, who's your customer and what do they want?
And I guess with that in mind, entrepreneurship is just like a huge topic that a lot of folks that are in the business school and people just in general want to learn more about. And I'm curious about your perspective on just all the entrepreneurship advice there is out there. Like, there's those people that are like, become obsessed with the problem. And then there's other folks where it's like, no, you need to be passionate, so that way you're never working a day in your life. You're just out here, following your passion. So what is your philosophy? I feel like I think we know the answer to this, but I'm curious.
I'll refer you back to my one answer to any question that I will give.
The hammer.
I mean, it's great to be passionate about your work, but we have this like stereotype of the starving artist for a reason.
Oh, interesting.
That artist is very passionate about his or her work and not making any money off of it, which is great. If that's a fulfilling lifestyle that you want to live, that's great. If we're starting a business, though, presumably the business is there to generate revenue and profits, which means you need customers, which means it kind of doesn't matter how passionate you are about whatever it is that you're doing. Unless you're solving a problem for somebody, they're not going to give you their money. So my advice is, be passionate about the problem you're solving.
Yeah.
Make sure that it's a problem for a specific set of people, and that they will appreciate that solution that you're offering. I think that's the key to success.
I have a few friends that are going into marketing, and they told me one of the most common interview questions they get is, who's your favorite brand? So I'm curious, like, what is a brand that you've maybe researched or worked with that you think does a really good job of understanding their customers and like the problems that they have? Can't say Coca-Cola.
I was not expecting interview questions. Can I dodge for a second and give my advice for answering that question for anybody who's facing that?
Yeah.
And then we'll see if I can come up with an actual answer. My advice to students when they're facing interviews and anticipate that question is coming is to reverse engineer it. So the purpose of an interview is for you to position yourself for the company. So you want to have, it's the same rules for positioning a product. You need to be differentiated from other competitors. You need to have a clear value proposition where it's clear that you can do the job. So start by thinking about what is unique about you, and what you want to communicate, and then go find a brand that is successful because of the things that you have that you want to bring to the table. And then that way the brand story that you're telling is really a story about how you could help that company be successful in the same way that this other brand was successful because of the skills that you have. Nobody ultimately cares about your favorite brand.
Yeah.
But if you can analyze a brand from that perspective of, they really create a lot of value. By the way, if you hired me, I could help you create that kind of thing. So don't lose sight of the goal if you're in that kind of interview. In terms of brands that I really like and think are well managed, I'll point to Carhartt. I think that they've been around for forever. They're very clear on who they serve. If you ask them, they will say, we serve the working men and women. We create clothes that are durable and rugged and so on. they've had this second life. Their revenue's like doubled in the last 10 years.
I've seen that.
Because they've become a fashion brand too. And they've never lost sight of who they are. I think that they are aware that, you know, the college students that I teach who wear Carhartt beanies, who have never picked up a wrench in their life, they value the brand because it feels authentic and real, and that it has kind of a depth of value to it. And they recognize that if they ever kind of leaned into being a fashion brand, that they would lose both of the segments that they serve. And so they've been very disciplined in saying, no, we serve working people. And if these other people want to come along because they value that, then they're welcome to come along. But I think it's a very well-managed brand.
Yeah, I think that's an important point to consider. I think a lot of people underestimate the value of brands and the messaging they're communicating, especially in this new like AI world where you can quite literally make any image, any piece of media as a whole, like in less than an hour. I think branding becomes even more important because it just signals intentionality, how much effort it takes to build this brand. And as someone that makes content, for me, for example, I'm just very careful about like the things that I post or like the companies that I partner with, because everything you do as a brand signals something. So you need to just be strategic on what you're signaling. And Carhartt, Stanley, I think is another one, or is it the Yeti brand? They've done a great job of kind of like evolving with their customers in a way that they still keep intact their original core message. And so I think that's an awesome example. Better than Coca-Cola. I feel like people always go for Coke, and I'm like, it's a great brand, but there's so many others out there. So yeah, we're talking so much about like how your teaching style and how other professors' teaching styles are being influenced with the disruption of AI. And in your intro, you mentioned you teach marketing, but you didn't mention the fact that you're also our only comedy professor on campus, or at least in the business school. There might be some, you know, maybe in the medical school or whatever.
I hope there's not, because I assume we would need to rumble at some point.
That would be an incredible roasting session of some kind.
No, I was talking with weapons. There can only be one.
That's awesome, but I don't want you to feel biased to answer this question, but I'm curious, with AI, like what are some like skills that maybe students should be focusing on that AI could maybe not compete in, or just any skills as a whole?
I mean, the soft skill stuff will always be important. No matter how good AI gets, as long as there are humans involved in some capacity somewhere, the ability to interact with other humans is always going to be kind of a part of that mix and a part of what you need to be successful. You know, I do teach this comedy class. It's not like a full semester class. It's kind of a short one. But I do make the MBAs have to deliver a stand-up set in front of their peers, and they need to, you know, write their original jokes and then hope that they fly. And they do great. And I'm so proud of them every year. It's, for a lot of people, that's the scariest thing they can possibly do. And that's part of the learning. But for me, like, I think that being able to tell jokes and to be funny has been the most important skill that I've developed in my career. Like, I think that that's done me more good than any other single thing that I've done, is just being able to kind of make people laugh or put them at ease a little bit. It doesn't have to be that, but I think that everybody should figure out what it is that they're bringing interpersonally. And for some people, it can be kind of depth of knowledge and expertise, and that's great. And for other people, it can be just kind of like warmth and charisma, and that's great. But you should figure out and focus on those skills, because in an AI world, that'll be one of the last things to go until we can like put on our prosthetic robot faces and have that interact with other prosthetic robots.
That's awesome.
That'll be the longest term.
So vibes are still safe in this AI world. I did hear that.
For now.
That's awesome. Yeah, and to your point earlier about telling jokes to a class, honestly, I had too much fear to sign up for your class. I took a comedy class in the summer before the second year, and a lot of my classmates signed up for your class, and I was like, I don't mind telling jokes in front of strangers because I'll never see these people again, but my class, my gosh, they were so brave for that.
It's super intimidating, and they were great.
They were so good. I was laughing the whole time.
I've taught that class for like 5 years, and every single student has landed at least one joke. Every single one, and most of them do far better than that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, the experience of doing something super scary, I think is also, I did open mic for many years, and there are a lot of business school teachers who are very intimidated to teach MBAs. They're like, oh, I want to teach undergrads because the MBAs are so hard.
Yeah.
You guys have nothing on a silent room full of tipsy people who are not laughing at your joke. Like, MBAs cannot intimidate me at all because I've experienced far scarier things, and that's part of what I wanted to give to those students who did that. And I think it was a great experience for them. So
well, with that in mind, just getting to understand a little bit more of like your mindset and your mentality as a whole, as someone that's been working for a few years and is teaching at this incredible institution, what is one of the best, maybe either non-financial or financial investments you've made in your career that you would say have really helped prepare you for this current stage that you're at?
Always invest in skills. So invest in things that will improve your ability to understand things or to be able to do things. We're living in an era where skills can go stale pretty quickly. I mean, everyone was supposed to know how to code up until like 8 months ago.
Yeah. Thank goodness that's not a thing.
And yet, so I had a computer science minor, and I'm not a gifted coder. It was never intuitive for me. In fact, those were some of my hardest classes. But learning how to code changed the way I think. It's a way of approaching problems and breaking them down into smaller problems and then like building them back up again. And so, with any luck, I will never have to code again in my entire life. But I'm grateful I learned the skill.
Yeah.
And I think that as we get older and we progress in our lives and our careers, we're less kind of excited about learning new things and developing new skills. Anytime that you're working towards some skill, it can be fun for the first little bit, and then it gets hard, and that's usually when we quit.
Yeah.
The first times you dabble on social media, like, oh, it's cool, it's fun, and then you need to like, I need to learn how to edit, and I need to learn to do this, and that's where you need to push through. And so invest in yourself, invest in time, and there's so many. I mean, you can learn so many things on YouTube.
Yes.
Free.
Yeah.
I don't know how we did it, how we coped before that. So yeah, put in the time.
Yeah, I'm curious, how have you been able to find that time as a working professional? Because I know it's really easy to kind of have this routine, and even feeling within your routine, you don't even have time to like go to the gym or breathe or go to a comedy show or whatever. So are you the type of person that recommends folks like 10 minutes a day, or like have you been the type to do like, let me block off my weekend if I really want to pick something up?
Yeah, I mean, my advice on that is figure out what works for you. I think people are different on that. For me, for what it's worth, I find blocking off chunks of time is very helpful. There have been periods of my career where I'll block off most of a day, because otherwise it'll just get eaten up with meetings. Like they just kind of like come and go. Whereas if you block it off, then you're like, okay, I can't schedule any meetings on that day. They need to be pushed off to another day. And I will even like sometimes go and hide in the public library for 6 hours during those days, usually writing days, so that I wouldn't have any of the distractions from home or from office or even from like a coffee shop that can distract me. So if I'm like sitting in front of a book of shelves or a shelf of books, either of those would be distracting. So that's been very helpful for me. I work better when I've got kind of that time. It's very easy for me to get distracted, and if I got 3 meetings spaced throughout the day, I just don't have enough time to work. Yeah,
even that, even if you have like an hour between meetings, like you still have to kind of either reset, take the notes, like just something in between. So
traveling between them, all of that. And so on the other hand, there are people who are very efficient in 15-minute chunks. And so if that's you, great. But just figure out a process for yourself. Otherwise, it's not going to happen naturally usually.
No, I totally agree. I realized anytime I try to either break a habit or form a new one, it's like incremental changes. But then there's other people that are completely cold turkey, and I'm like,
absolutely.
I admire you for that. I don't think I'll ever be a 5 a.m. person, but maybe one day I'll be like an 8:30 instead of like a 9 a.m., right? It's all a gradual thing. Well, last question for you. I am 27 and turning 28 soon.
Me too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, do you have any advice for your pal? Yeah, like if you were 27 right now, what would you be focusing on and what would you not be wasting your time on, would you say?
So have a long-term path, but make sure that it's flexible and focus on what you need to do to get from here to there. And so like one example is back when I was teaching the MBA core, it would be very common for students to come in and ask for career advice and say like, I want to work in marketing, but I don't want to be a brand manager. And this may be changing now, but for a very long time, all paths through a marketing career led through brand manager. Like you kind of needed to do that at some point. And so, and again, that might be changing now. But so like my question would be like, well, what is your long-term goal? And sometimes you need to do something less pleasant now in order to get to that long-term goal, as opposed to like, what is the optimal thing that I want right now that'll make me happy right now? And sometimes that can be a dead end. And it's great for now, but then like 3 years from now, what position are you going to be in, and are you going to be able to get from there to where you ultimately want to go? So think a little bit long term. That's a lot harder now than it used to be because things are so disruptive. So you might need to like kind of scale down the time horizon, recognizing that things will change. But do try to look a little bit longer term as you're making your short term decisions.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome advice. I think that's especially important with careers, right? You might not get like the perfect job out when you first graduate, either undergrad or master's programs, but it's like, how are they all going to fit together so you get that dream role, right? If that even exists, or whatever that like ultimate long-term goal is. So
yeah, I mean, if you do get your dream job straight out of graduation, is there a risk that you've just peaked? There are people who have a great time in high school, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's the highest point. So obviously, I want all my students to be happy in what they're doing and enjoy what they're doing, but also give some thought to, what are the skills that this next job is going to teach me, and how will that build up my resume? Because I know that where I want to get eventually is X.
Well, like I said, thank you so much for helping my class get funnier.
There you go.
It's been a pleasant experience interacting with them after your class. Yeah.
Hope I fixed them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending this time educating not only myself, but my internet friends. Your insights are incredible. I think business programs, master's programs as a whole just continue to get more and more expensive and price people out from these incredible conversations. And so I'm grateful for you to just talk with us and just share all your different nuggets of advice and your insights on marketing, comedy, and life. So
it was very flattering to be asked.
For sure. Well, thank you so much. A small gift.
You. Do I open this now, or is this?
Yeah, why not?
Is this going to be exploding on me later?
Oh my gosh, beaver nuggets, who would have guessed?
You better be sponsored at this point.
My goal.
Because you were at Buc-ee's like every 45 minutes on your TikTok.
I'm manifesting a Buc-ee's sponsorship.
They should 100% do that.
Of course, of course.
I mean, I did get all of my family Buc-ee's like t-shirts and sweatshirts and things.
Oh, I love that. You guys are
Christmas,
matching family.
So, yes.
And then,
and a candle.
And a candle.
Smells like Buc-ee's.
Just in case you need to get in the zone and need to smell some Buc-ee's scents.
Amazing.
Awesome.
It's a gourmet candle too, so I'm not sure what that means, but I'm sure it's delicious.
Awesome, folks. Well, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.